tell Atiku to drop his ambition for 2027. I like how Northerners are basically, you know, giving Atiku even ultimatum, drop his ambition and support a Peter Obi, because it is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It's the same no-brainer situation happened in 2023 that made Atiku become the flag bearer of the PDP. At the end of the day, they lost that election woefully. That same thing will most likely play out. And if it does, sometimes politicians don't know the repercussions. And sometimes the actions that comes after some decisions that they may have taken. The reason I say that is because this is the turn of the South. You can't just come and trump. It is even a no-brainer in the first place for him to even go on ahead to contest the elections in 2023. There is no way in the world with what Buhari had done for 8 years in Northwest from Katsina. You now come from East because you are an Atiku, having contested for a election for 6 times. Then the country will now come and vote you from the Northeast to now become the president of the country. And truth be told, Atiku was the one that spoiled Peter Obi's chances in 2023. Not the other way around. Let's just be clear on this. Because there's no way power shouldn't have been looked at and shifted to the South. After all, El-Rufai is a Northwesterner. After all, those governors, I think like 6 or 7 of them that came out and said, no, Buhari have done 8 years. We love power. Truth be told, Northerners love power. That's it almost looks as if they're born with it. Unlike the Southerners, once you don't give them power, they continue their life. As long as they're able to wake up, go see for 1 or 2 things to eat that particular day, or to do their business, life continues. Being in power is not something that is the go-to thing for an average Southerner. Northerner, power is where he eats from. That's where he thinks he can make more change. They're not as dynamic and as industrious as we are in the South. And also, upon all of that thing, they said, no, you know what? They would have played the card in such a way that they would have played into the hands of making Atiku the president. They would have done it. Because of Jagaban, the way he was forceful, used money, everything. But we know the role that Buhari played. Buhari did not, including his body language. His body language keeps putting out go there and contest anybody that emerge. But trust me, if Atiku, if Asiwaju did not emerge, if Asiwaju did not emerge at the primaries, in fact, it was a foregone conclusion, and the last part of the kettle was to make sure that yes, they wanted to make Atiku the president, but the force of Atiku was just too much, and they needed and everybody now gave up as to this guy his force is too much. Now you have all of those. They have this thing cornered, and they said, no, let's give it to this South. It's not right for a Buhari who has done 8 years. Now give it to an Atiku who will not come and do another 8 years, of course. From Northwest to Northeast, it's not done. We know that it's not written anywhere. It's not signed anywhere that the South must shift to the South, some must shift to the North. But there's this mutual understanding. Okay, 8 years South, and Peter Obi has come and said, look, okay, this may be the problem now. My guys are saying, if we give him now, how we should have by 2021 want to leave. Yes, it's a genuine concern. But they've gone ahead and said, you know what? I know they do. I don't think 4 years what I would use to want to repair this country. From day one, I would work, and by the second year, you would have counted what I would have done. That's how you lead that things. Not to wait. You after 6 months, you are saying that policy is killing Nigerians. It's making people go mad, and you are still keeping the policy. That's the way you made it. It must go. And they were telling us the money that have been saved. Instead of you to help, make the money that have been saved work for Nigerians, and maybe put this on food that is expensive. No, you said no. that you are investing it. Oh, wait, is you investing? Is it when people feel dying? You know that people cannot see food to eat. Is it when people die? So now you see the potential candidate, somebody who you know can win an election for crying out. Nobody give Peter Obi a chance in 2020. Sometimes some things are blessing in disguise. Some things are a blessing in disguise. Imagine Peter Obi did not from PDP at the time he defected to the Labour Party. Imagine he did not do that. They would have said, after all, when he was with Atiku in 2019, they got 12 million votes. It was Atiku that got him that those numbers. It was clear that Peter Obi was a force to reckon with because he had not actually gone for an election as a president before. That was the very first. It shocked everybody that he was able to gather those numbers. 12 states, including the FCT, including Lagos. Come on, man. Come on. In fact, including Rivers, for what the people who were there, who said they actually manipulated the result that came out from the PW won landslide in Rivers State. It would have been 13th. It would have been. But that's it. Let's count it the way that INEC did count. You give me the numbers. And election coming up. On what basis is Atiku wanting to contest? On what basis now are you now wanting Atiku to contest? We should just want to know. Because Atiku really even make it by saying that he's only another that can remove Atiku from maybe can remove him from power. False. If Atiku mobilizes his supporters and gather around and support before 12 noon of the same day of that election, Tinubu will be gone.
Southern president is, for me, sacrosanct. It's something that cannot be jeopardized. It's something that must be abided by. And so, for any serious opposition that wants to challenge the incumbent President Tinubu, who is from the South, of such a party, it will be in his own interest to field a Southern candidate. And since an aspirant like Peter Obi has come to say clearly, believe that I will run for just one time because I also respect zoning. And he did not say it, he made a proposition to the coalition he's just joined, the ADC, in that respect. And he has also granted an interview where he was saying in colors, saying, I will run for only one time. And one time is enough for me for the position of the country. I may not actually believe, but I'm willing to sacrifice my privilege and right in the interest of national, because I believe that by 2031, the presidency should be returning for the North. That was quite thoughtful. That was quite ingenious of him. That was quite patriotic, if you ask me, to have stated this clearly. Meaning, I believe I will run, but I'm not unaware of the peculiarity of the power dynamics in Nigeria. So I'm not in denial of that. So I'm stating it often that I want to run, but I will run for only one time, if given the opportunity. So I want to be at the ADC, if they are serious about from the president, must. If the story is, I don't know how true the story is, but this is something for them to pick up and read. And this, for me, what you saw from the pilot is in sync with public opinion and the expectation from this party, particularly as it concerns zoning of the presidency. Now, as for Obi as a candidate, Obi again has thrust himself ahead of others, going to the 2027 race by his principal stance on a number of issues. You see, I've had reasons on this program to criticize Obi severally for not being very clear on alternatives offering to the incumbent administration. But his last interview over the weekend, which my constitution was one of his best ever, has lightened up the mood in this country, has sort of restored some level of hope, because in that interview, he was able to go a notch higher in providing some level of philosophical clarity to how and when, how he intends to tackle Nigeria's myriad of problems. Apart from addressing the basic issues of integrity, character, and frugal management of resources, there was something remarkable about his interview on two fronts. He stands on the model of petroleum subsidies, which have insisted that if anybody wants to challenge, you must come with authority to what he has done. For the first time, I think Obi'S like I've always said that 2 years is enough for those in power and those in the opposition to have taken time to reflect on the effect of subsidy removal and come up with a change of position. He seems to have adopted that because for the first time he said he would first tackle corruption to ascertain what exactly Nigeria is paying for his subsidy before taking the next step. This is a strong shift from his orthodoxy, or the position of orthodoxy of it has to go because subsidy in itself is bad. I was pleasantly surprised, and it's a welcome development because we need alternatives in the polity. I'm speaking about this morning because it's an alternative is offered now.
Yes.
So why not look at the corruption, and then going forward, let us now know what is it that we are really paying for, and probably if it does not hurt the system, then we can continue. Something like that. I expect him in the coming days to also sharpen this direction he's taking now, sharpen it and make it a policy statement. Now, there's something remarkable you also talked about. Borrowing. That is going to borrow, but to invest in businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, you should have, definitely I would have been excited. I've always said that government has to do business. And that if government must borrow, it has to be to do business. And when they asked him what kind of business will he invest in, he said agricultural production across the value chains. Because he believes that agriculture will yield for Nigeria much more than oil is doing. So it means he himself is considering the fact that government must have a role to play in the means of production. These are the kind of alternatives we want to see. So we can have decent conversations here going forward. And let me tell you, what this man has done is going to put pressure on the incumbent administration to also look at their own policy, their own stand, and begin to adjust accordingly. And that is the beauty of democracy. So at the end of the day, we have qualitative discourse in the polity. It begins to yield results for the people. That's what democracy is all about.
Absolutely.
And so he has risen up to the challenge of the true voice opposition, something we've been yearning for since 2020.
So what do you make to say? What do you say to people that say, well, look, fine, it all sounds great like you put it, but that he has probably shot himself in the foot by leaving the Labour Party to the ADC, where he's up against serious political heavyweights?
Okay, according to him, he's not left the Labour Party. You see, this is like a special arrangement. He said he's still a member of the Labour Party. It's very clear. But at this ADC is like a coming together of people from all across political parties who have joined the ADC fully for the purpose of teaming up to challenge incumbents. Because the last experience was, because the position was splintered along 3 major axes, it was easy for the president to have taken the day after 8 years of underperformance by the APC. So maybe they're trying to come together to see if they can find a common ground. But I'm sure he's holding on to his Labour Party because if for any reason a common ground is not found, he's going to run along with his own party and see if he can make the necessary impact. So
he's not trying to eat his cake and have it by doing that?
No, I think he's just being strategic, really, at this stage. I think there's nothing wrong with what he's done yet. Of course, you know me. I wouldn't say it the way it is not. I think for now, it is still, they're trying to form an alliance. There's nothing wrong with an alliance in a democracy. Most multi-party democracies usually come through an alliance to upstage democratically those that are in government. There's nothing wrong. Macron, for example, is a product of a broad-based alliance. President Lula da Silva came into power the first time and even now through a broad coalition. In fact, my interest is that the ANC of South Africa, as you see, is a coalition of political parties, including COSATU, the labor organization in that country. So there's nothing wrong with the coalition.
You talked about putting your best foot forward,
yes,
and also looking at the reading the room,
yes,
of course. And I bring this because of the ADC stats. They're saying ADC Sean zoning throws presidential ticket open to North, South, Atiku, P2B, Amechi may clash at primaries. Governorship, senatorial, other tickets all open to all aspirants, daily assets. But when you listen to that, do you think that's a coalition that understands the reading of the room?
No, the headline is very disturbing. And by now, I should have expected that. The coalition should have known, again, that time and events throw up certain kind of peculiarities in both aspirations, candidacy, and political party management. If you look at the ADC has gained traction, surprisingly, because of the, in spite of the assemblage of men of yesteryears that are largely uninspiring, people that follow, you can't even land on behind, including, of course, the chairman of the ADC, the former Senate President David Mark, including the pro tem national secretary. When you look at the ADC and the structure as currently constituted, it's uninspiring. You could as well go to sleep and say, let them figure it out by themselves, and whoever defeats the other, so be it. But something changed when Obi stepped into that hall that day and identified with the coalition. The support the coalition is getting today, which is actually substantial, I must tell you this, surprisingly. I didn't give this coalition a chance. But I can tell that from the feelers we're getting on the ground, a lot of people are now gravitating towards the coalition and are waiting with bated breath to see what they will come up with in the next.
When you say people, who are we referring to?
Nigerians, who have been yearning for an alternative to what they have currently. There was this fear that Nigeria was lying to a one-party state because of the demands of the PDP and the disarray in the Labour Party. So this is like a halt to that slide, and Nigerians have welcomed it. But I'm saying Nigerians have welcomed this coalition or the ADC because of the presence of Mr. Peter Obi there. Somebody they consider as different, and somebody whose conduct really is a bit different from the norm, really. I mean, let's give it to him. Now, I would expect that this party will leverage on that and take advantage of that to dig into the plow of people power, to harvest people power on their side. Because what a political party needs in opposition is people power. With people power, it will defy all forms of electoral subterfuge instigated by the incumbents. Because the people themselves that are going to send to do this are with the opposition because of the vast, armory of people power. So I'm expecting them to utilize the golden ball of opposition of some sort. The same question makes President Muhammadu Buhari to come to power. And most importantly, let me say this clearly. The ADC must understand that Nigerians across the board not want a northern presidency to outbreak down of the south before 2031.
I think someone agrees with you. I mean, from our social media, Michael Efedi says if Atiku emerges ADC presidential candidate, they will lose woefully. He also says Atiku should rest and back Peter Obi.
Look, let me say this ahead without any fear of contradiction going to the field. I said it before the PDP elections too. By this time, Atiku should become a statesman. Atiku should mobilize the North within his own sphere of influence to back Peter Obi for the ticket of the South for two reasons. Apart from the part that Peter Obi is popular ahead of even the convention of ADC, very popular. Peter Obi comes from the southeast. He's shown Atiku enormous love and the by extent. Since 1998. That the party that it has supported since 1998 consistently, but have not been given that opportunity to present a president candidate on that platform. I think it's an embarrassment on as Atiku has moved to the ADC, he should not go in there and ensure this to redeem his own image. What I cannot say here today is I don't know if Atiku will lose if he runs. The last time I predicted that he was going to lose if he runs. I don't know whether he will lose, but there's something about what is called Pyrrhic victory. You should not want to grow up in a country that is dominated by the Muslim North, neither want to grow up in one that is dominated by the Christian South. There has to be equity, fairness, and justice because there must be in Nigeria if Atiku can rule over it.
So, Atiku, this is my final advice to you. Many Nigerians have been calling upon you to step aside and allow Peter Obi. You have tried to be president more than 6 times. This is going to be the 7th time. The God that you trust in, the Allah you call upon and pray to, can't you see the handwriting on the wall that you have tried and tried? You've done your part. You were vice president. What else are you looking for? You want to divide the vote so that Tinubu will continue as president for Nigerians to continue to suffer? I am bleeding, people are dying, people are suffering, people are hungry, and we cannot the South, and it is now the turn of the South. Buhari was incompetent. Nigerians suffer under him, yet they allowed him to rule for 8 years, and now Tinubu is obviously incompetent. He said he came to continue where Buhari stopped. Now he has taken the suffering of Nigerians to the next level, and we want to see change. Give a fresh blood a chance. Somebody from the southeast chance. Obasanjo from the southwest had the opportunity to govern Nigeria for 8 years. After Obasanjo, it was then went to the north where Buhari took the nation down 8 years. Tinubu has come now for a 4-year term. 2 years Nigeria is already gone. We don't want that to continue. Then some people are advocating that no, power needs to go to the north. Why must it be north? Okonko is calling for power to the north. Why? Is it because you are supporting Atiku? What will Atiku do? You were supporting Peter Obi. You said several times that they stole the election that you were so sure Peter Obi was the winner. So if you knew he won, why will you now start saying that he doesn't stand the chance, and you're talking about how the politics works and that the northern vote? I am a northerner. The support for Peter Obi has increased. Many people in the north want Peter Obi, not Atiku. If we wanted Atiku, we would have given him a chance. We have not been electing him. Anytime you have seen him get votes from the north is because there was no other alternative. I am begging you, it's time to give somebody a chance from the southeast. What is our problem with the Igbos? We come and say one Nigeria, one Nigeria. Now they change the national anthem and brought the old one to talk about we've been together. But it's all a lie. It's all lip and mouth service. I don't know what is our problem. Why are we afraid of the people from the southeast? Then we say we are one Nigeria. When they are now saying they want to leave Nigeria, so he tried it because he said it was the turn of the South and that the ticket should be zoned to somebody from the South. That was his fight. That was his grievance. So why should it now be okay to say that it should remain in the north?
You know, I like how now Northerners are coming out to tell Atiku to drop his ambition for 2027. You know, I like how Northerners are coming out to tell Atiku to drop his ambition for 2027. I like how Northerners are basically, you know, giving out Atiku even ultimatum, you know, drop his ambition. And so, you know, I like how Northerners are coming out to tell Atiku to drop his ambition for 2027. I like how Northerners are basically, you know, giving out Atiku even ultimatum, you know, drop his ambition and supports a Peter Obi, you know, because it is a